We are back, and Peanut Gallery, take it away.
So, let's talk about Matt Cardona. He's back in TNA.
I'm excited about that.
And he ruined a wedding in the process.
I liked it. I really did.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had a lot of good things to say about the way that the whole wedding angle turned out, because it's a dime a dozen. Like everyone is going to have it.
But Steph Delander and PCO are the best thing on Impact. Like, they're seriously the coolest thing on Impact.
So Mercedes Mone is returning to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember who she's facing. I think she's facing like
Mayu or something like that. I'm going to assume it's going to be Iwatani. That would be make the most sense.
But yeah, she's going back to New Japan. She's not obviously in the title hunt at this point in time because she already has one of their titles.
Right.
But yeah, she's gonna go back to Japan.
Well, in this graphic, it's DC.
Yeah.
Well, she's competing within New Japan. Is probably strong because she's a strong women's champion.
Yep, it is. It's strong. Okay. Well, Joe Hendry is the greatest thing on God's green earth, as we all know. So he did a little bit with the concerts, and that kind of went over well. But let's talk a little bit about. So it's very interesting about Joe Hendry's like seemingly meteoric rise. Like, this has been like, if there's one person who has benefited the most from this relationship between WWE and TNA, I think it's Joe Hendry.
Right, and Jordan Grace comes as the second because she's been in the Royal Rumble and all that.
But interestingly, he is also starting to train in the WWE Performance Center.
And not only that, but what I'm hearing is that it's almost full time.
Yes.
Now, Hendry is going to be appearing on TNA television because he has those obligations.
He has a contract with TNA.
But remember, TNA, how they do their tapings, it's like
a couple weekends a month.
Right.
Essentially. So he's been given more freedom to train in the Performance Center. Now, I wonder if that indicates that he is also under some sort of either contract or special agreement with the WWE.
Well, he is. I mean, he is 1099, so in every way, shape, and form, he can work anywhere he wants.
Right. And I wonder if they, like I said, set up a special contract with him so that he could still do his TNA obligations while doing Performance Center stuff.
Now, the news has come out that Gallus have appeared in TNA, continuing this rivalry, because this is the rivalry now, Joe Hendry and Gallus.
Right.
Not a big fan of it. I think it should be Joe Hendry and Josh Alexander, but he is going for the TNA World Champion at Emergence.
Right. Yes. So that's going to be a little down the road sort of thing. Okay, so let's talk about Shane McMahon.
The meeting was a nothing sandwich, by the way. It was just essentially a talk of, oh my gosh, keep going on your future, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure Tony wanted to at least have some sort of working relationship with Shane, but
there is that possibility still remains, though, that a McMahon could return to the wrestling industry in a big way like this.
Well, Stephanie has some sort of involvement with WWE.
Well, yeah, of course, because Stephanie is married to the chief content officer of the company.
Right.
We thought that it would be just like a ha-ha sort of thing when they were jabbing back and forth about it, in previous months. But it took an interesting turn this past week when they actually did meet. And I don't know what Shane's involvement in AEW is going to be.
If there is any involvement at all.
If there is any involvement at all. But he has been known to pursue interests like this in the past.
Right. And it would be hilarious because all of the criticisms against all the McMahons that all of the cult of AEW would tout would turn immediately, and they would look like the biggest losers on earth. Because once again, it has to be a McMahon to save a wrestling company.
Right. So yeah, we talked a little bit about this Britt Baker stuff with her suspension and everything. But I do want to approach this with a different angle. Because we talked about how Mercedes is going to essentially have to build this rivalry and how it's going to go. Now, the problem with her, essentially, she's dictated enough terms already as it is,
Right.
I mean, her contract is just a piece of shit.
Right.
And she's being given full creative control over the state of this contract. But there's just so much blatant favoritism going on in this damn company.
Yeah, it's quite awful too.
Yeah, it is. And we're starting to see who the winners and the losers are in this war.
And the problem, and here's the problem with this favoritism and what's going on in the back. This kind of stuff hurts the overall morale of the locker room.
Yeah, not like the morale was already low enough as it is.
I mean, Buddy Matthews essentially is trapped with AEW now.
He wanted to leave.
But he just got offered such a huge contract that he just couldn't refuse to ignore, which, you know what, good for him.
Right.
But once again, that is not how to conduct business. If the person is not happy within your company, let them go. Yeah, let them go. Like, why bother? So it's stupid and petty. This whole situation, Baker, if she goes to the E, she will need to shape up her attitude. She has the reputation.
And then she also needs to improve her skills just in general. But NXT is there for a reason,
right? And they will not tolerate this bullshit. No, they won't. That's why Tessa Blanchard was never signed, because they're not going to tolerate that. Right. Period. End of story.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, could she shape her shit up? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. She's young enough to do that. Yeah,
she is.
Now, I don't think she'll do that because she has her dentistry to fall back on. But I could definitely see her maybe do like a TNA or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
this was crazy. I never thought I would see it.
Yes. Jesse Ventura. I was going to say Tully Blanchard for a second.
Why? I don't know. Well, you saw Arn Anderson, so maybe you had the,
Jesse Ventura, who famously had a falling out with Vince McMahon and the WWE.
Probably one of the biggest.
Way back in the day.
Like one of the biggest fallouts in pretty much company history.
But, I guess hell freezes over more than once.
Yeah, but
I think Vince said that again.
Yep, but Vince McMahon is not in control. There is a different relationship. Yep. And you know what? I think it's going to be an overall positive. Jesse Ventura is very much a influence in a lot of wrestlers. Cultural zeitgeist, just like superstar Billy Graham, like they all take influence from that.
Most notably CM Punk, who has been known to have his influence be Jesse Ventura, and him returning to the E. I mean, he's not making a full-time return, but at least he showed up to a show, which is weird.
It is really cool.
It's really cool. So Stone Cold Steve Austin was saying some very interesting things about him making possibly an appearance at WrestleMania 41.
No, that's fine. I can see it.
Now, I don't know what the involvement is going to entail.
We still have a long way to go.
We do. But he has not ruled out a WrestleMania return for Las Vegas, which I think would just be fantastic.
It would be cool.
And then the Hardys. The Hardys, I think, are going to be in the Hall of Fame next year. And let me tell you why. The reason is because
WWE or TNA?
I think they might do both.
That'd be cool.
But the reason that I think that they're going to do a Hall of Fame next year is because we're going to start to see a lot of Hardy-related content coming out. They had a meeting with WWE in Cleveland over the weekend, and they have discussed doing at least a couple of different things, like a documentary, perhaps, book deals, that sort of thing, just to put a lot of stuff around the Hardys. And to me, that indicates that they are they're going to start wrapping things up and move into the Hall of Fame section. Now, again,
wrapping things up wrestling-wise, they're retiring.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's going to be a full retirement or a partial retirement, but Matt Hardy has said that he doesn't want to go in the TNA Hall of Fame without Jeff, and Jeff doesn't want to do the same thing. So they're going to have to do it together. There is precedent, obviously, for superstars who are not retired to go into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But the WWE Hall of Fame needs a strong tag team to go into that circle, and I think the Hardys would make a great case for that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Jeff Hardy has had his issues in the past. He's cleaned up, though.
Well, we've said that at least 4 times. Yeah. I'm hoping that it sticks.
I hope so too. But they both seem genuinely happy in their current place. And what would be very interesting for me would be to see more Hardy involvement, especially in the tag team division of NXT.
Yeah, I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge there with the Hardys. There's a lot of creativity that they can really help out with the young generation, not just within NXT, but even within TNA.
Right.
Because TNA is definitely making some moves within of themselves, and the Hardys, I think, have more of a soft spot with TNA because really, when both of them were at their worst, TNA always gave them the opportunity to do better. So, you know, in one way or another, even though a lot of people say, "Oh, it's the Hardy Boys," I really actually look at TNA more as Hardy's home than WWE ever.
Right. But they did get their start in the WWE, and obviously WWE wants them, you know, wants me on their good graces. They obviously carried a lot of the division at the time.
Right.
So, and in Jeff Hardy's case, he even carried the WWE Championship on multiple occasions.
And the World Heavyweight. So,
World Heavyweight.
You know, and Matt Hardy's obviously with his creativity, the broken universe, on how he can really incorporate that and really pass on knowledge of maybe some character work. It's almost like having Bray Wyatt back and really putting him in that because both of them have a very similar level of creativity.
And I know that they had a school for a long time as well, but I wonder if they're going to
Omega.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to pivot that into a performance center career.
That would be really cool. I would like that a lot.
Yeah, because I don't know who is currently on the roster as far as trainers go off the top of my head, but
for TNA or for Omega?
No, for the Performance Center.
I know Matt Bloom is still the head.
He's the head, but I don't know who else is there. I think Finlay and a couple of others.
I know Finlay is. But Sarah Del Rey is still, I believe.
Matt and Jeff Hardy would, as a pair, do great in the tag team division.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Considering they've got that natural chemistry.
Yeah, I agree with you on that end. So,
but that's about all I had.
Yep.
When we come back, SummerSlam, good and bad.
Yep.